course, and some people were very excited at the election of the new president. But that isn't necessarily dominating discussions in Iran at the moment, because Iran's football team beat South Korea to qualify for next year's World Cup. They'll be in Brazil next year. Cue an enormous amount of excitement in Iran. Let's bring in Lucy, who's in the World's Newsroom. I think I can guess who she's with.
Hi Ros, we've come up to BBC Persian's television studios, and I can tell you this is one happy newsroom at the moment. Even people here who were not football fans now are, and that's because their team have qualified in style for the World Cup. In South Korea, they went there and they beat the home side 1-0. It's the first time in 8 years that Iran has actually qualified. Well, don't let me tell you about how excited everyone is here. Let's talk to Faranak and Pouria, who are from BBC Persian. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Are you a football fan? Or are you now?
I am now. I'm not the biggest football fan, but I'm pretty excited about what is happening right now.
What does it mean to people in Iran?
It means a lot. It's something. It's an excuse for them to just celebrate. They don't really get to do it much in Iran, especially publicly and on the streets. So it's a great excuse for them to just get out and have a great time.
Yeah, Corey, how have people been celebrating?
It's been crazy. There was a lot of sensitivity because of what the South Korean coach said before the game. They said they didn't have a good time in Tehran when they were playing them in the first game. There was a bit of bad blood between the two teams, and then Iran beat them on their own turf, and that was just crazy. It was the first time ever happened that Iran has beaten them inside South Korea.
Was there a little bit of argy-bargy after the game?
There was. I think there's going to be suspensions, maybe. There's going to be fines, maybe. A bit of a Jose Mourinho-esque type of celebrations, which provoked the opposition, and like there was some punches and kicks going around as well. We have to see what FIFA does about it, if any of the teams or the referees report this.
Faranak, give us a sense, though, of the mood in Iran right now. This is the second time in 4 days that the streets have been filled with revelers.
Exactly. People are just overwhelmed by it. You don't get that a lot in Iran. Last night, people were on the streets till midnight, celebrating. Women, children, old, young, everybody was on the streets. They were in their cars, dancing on their cars. Some women had even taken off the headscarf, which is a big deal in Iran.
I hear there were reports of people even drinking alcohol.
Yes, they do that sometimes, really on the down low, but they do it actually.
Okay, that's amazing. Let's have a little look at some of the comments that we've heard from Iran. An Iranian journalist has written, "The celebrations resemble a zoo, unorganised. Fireworks and daylight are freaking people out." That's coming from another sports journalist inside Iran who wrote that on Facebook. And then here's an interesting one. "No one has gone to this forced celebration. The national team will be disappointed." Well, let's talk a bit more about that celebration, because there was an official celebration for the team when they go home. Was it not a success?
Exactly. Yesterday, the Football Federation in Iran actually announced that they will hold national celebrations celebrating this victory in the stadium, in Azadi Stadium in Tehran. However, they actually pointed out that women have no right to take part in these celebrations. And that kind of put people off, because if it's a national celebration, you cannot just ignore half of the population, basically.
You know, Iran has made it to the World Cup. This is the fourth time, and two of those times has happened inside Iran. The last game, the decisive game, was inside Iran. This is the second time this has happened. This was in South Korea this time. The last time was 16 years ago in Australia, in Melbourne cricket ground. Iran made it to the World Cup, and then they came back. And those celebrations inside the same stadium was nothing like what happened today. 70,000 people came, including 5,000 women. But this time, no women, not a lot of people turned up.
That's absolutely incredible. Faranak, just tell us, though, there is a new president, of course. People are celebrating that still. Has he had anything to say about this victory?
He actually has congratulated. Most of the political figures in Iran have congratulated the people and the national team on this victory, actually.
Well, congratulations from all of us as well. We won't get into how good the team are or what their prospects are, but we'll certainly be keeping a close eye on them in the build-up to the World Cup. And Ros, I can tell you, as a New Zealander, I know what a big deal it is to qualify.
Thank you very much indeed, Lucy. And in fact, New Zealander is the answer to a good quiz question about the last World Cup in 2010, because they were the only team to go through the first